This is my movie review of A Wrinkle in Time. The movie starts when this girl named Megan is she's getting in trouble. This girl teases her, and so she throws a ball in her face. Veronica's the one who teases her. Then she walks out on the principal when he's telling her off for misbehaving. Her brother Charles defends her. Because actually he just says how great she is, and then Veronica teases her, and the reason he was saying how great she is because he had some teachers that were saying negative things about him, and he tells them shame on you because they're gossips. Obviously he gets in trouble with the principal too, but he doesn't walk out on the principal. Megan's world is turned upside down when she's walking her brother. She's walking with her brother, and then she meets this guy and he tells her that he likes her hair, and her little brother wants to check out this house that everyone says is a bad place to visit, but he doesn't care. Actually, before that, it's night time, and her brother's downstairs talking to this mysterious lady who turns out to be this bizarre creature called a What's-It, or Miss What's-It, and she and her mom are questioning what this strange woman is doing in their place. And then they chase her out, but then the next day they go and visit Mrs. Who? Another miss anyways. And this one can only speak using other people's words because she supposedly evolved beyond the need to use words. But when she has to communicate with other people, she cheats by using other people's words. And she doesn't consistently stick to this throughout the movie. One of my major bugbears with this character is that she says that she quotes Macy Gray, saying, "You got to get up and do something. Don't let the days of your life pass you by." From her song "Do Something." And this guy that Megan's attracted to says that Adcast sang it, and it wasn't Adcast. It was obviously Macy Gray. But nobody ever bothers to correct him. They just act like he's a genius when he's the total opposite. Megan and her friend and her little brother end up following What's It and the other lady into another world. Her dad created this pathway into another dimension by essentially using the power of his mind. The film is very humanistic and exalting humans to the point of almost suggesting that we're gods, when obviously we're not, because we have so many problems in this world and there's no way we can fix them without the one true God, Elohim. When they're in this other world, they meet this gigantic being who tells them what they need to know, and What's It's got a boyfriend who seems to be some kind of a mystical being who lives in a cave. He doesn't really have a whole lot of purpose apart from somehow channeling energy. There's a moment where all of the three female beings and the kids combine their powers together and somehow manage to travel to this place where Megan's dad is, because he disappeared for 4 years. And the principal said he wasn't coming back, but he did eventually. It's kind of cool how in the movie Megan's dad is European American and her mom is African American. Actually, in real life she's African British, but you know, she speaks with an American accent, so we're just assuming that for this movie she's supposed to be African American, even though that's never actually stated in the movie. And that detail isn't really relevant to the plot, but it kind of warms my heart to see it happening. Okay, so they're in this place, they're looking for her dad. This is like a place that's inhabited by evil, which is seen in this movie as things that we're afraid of, or things that we hate, or things that limit us, or negativity, instead of what is truly evil, which is sinfulness and selfishness. of course, those two things are interchangeable. No. At first we think that her brother is innocent, but he's actually leading them into a trap. This evil presence has control over him. At first they're playing dodge. No, they're on the street and there's all these kids bouncing their balls in front of their houses. Then their mothers call them in for supper, and one of the mothers invites them in, but the kids decide not to go inside because they know it's a trap. But then the next time they're offered a temptation, Megan's younger brother takes the bait and the boy who Megan likes, he takes the bait and eats a sandwich that turns out to be literal sand. And this guy who looks normal except when you look into his eyes, he takes the little brother captive. And when you see his eyes, they're like glowing red. But you can tell he's evil, even though the color red doesn't mean evil, but he's meant to look evil for this movie. Megan convinces her dad to come with her and to go home, and he's more than willing, and there's a point at which he's gonna leave his son behind because he's just so consumed by evil. And he does leave him behind, but Megan decides to stay, and she has this standoff with her brother. And at first her brother is saying, oh, love isn't real, But then she convinces him that love is real by reminding him of all the loving things that he's done for her. Calling him Biscuits, her pet name for him, wasn't enough, but reminding him of all the things that he'd done for her, all the times when he'd fought for her and stood up for her, that just broke the power of evil over him. Love restored him, and that reminds me of the way that that God's love restores us, and His love is the greatest love that will ever be, and the greatest demonstration of love in His death for us on the cross. And essentially after that, everybody comes home. And it's got a happy ending. Obviously, that Megan doesn't end up with the guy who she likes who lives next door. And he's still got problems with his father, but he resolves not to let them get the better of him because he's never good enough for his dad. He's always yelling at him. But that doesn't stop him from being loving towards Megan. Sometimes we're in situations where everything's rotten, but we have a choice as to whether we allow that the rottenness of the way other people behave or the situation we're in, whether that causes us to act rotten towards others or whether we choose to be loving. And those of us who know Jesus, we find it easier to respond in love instead of in hate. If you truly know Jesus, if you truly have that awareness of what He did for you on the cross, then it affects the way you treat other people. It makes you want to be loving towards them because of His sacrifice, because of His willingness to die for us. everything comes back to his love for us. So I enjoyed A Wrinkle in Time, even though obviously the worldview is completely the opposite of Christian. There's still like elements in there that, you know, can be used to point the way towards Christ if you just dissect it a little bit. Anyways, peace out, God bless you.